is Rachel. I'm a homeschool mom to two boys, grades 4th and 6th. And today's video is going to be my first attempt at doing a day in the life of our homeschool day. So I have not done one of these before. So I'll just say that if it feels a little awkward, it's because it really was awkward to do. Because I've chosen not to show my kids' faces on my channel, I didn't really think that I would ever do one of these because I wouldn't really know what to show. So most of this is just me with my kids kind of off to the side. So that kind of made it awkward. But at the same time, I also am starting to run out of ideas of what I want to do videos on. I've been able to do one a week since March, and I think I had a lot of ideas at the beginning, but now they're kind of dwindling down. And so I may be switching to every other week. It really depends. But I do have a couple ideas of videos coming up, but I just have to do some work still for those things, and I just haven't accomplished the tasks I need to. Anyways, here is our today's, which was Wednesday's, day in the life for our homeschool. So I start the day off with writing in my planner what we're going to be doing for that day. I typically don't plan out the whole week simply because we take breaks when we need them, so I never quite know when they're going to come. And I'll also write them up on the board if I haven't done that already. So today we started our morning time with doing a character study with the company Not Consumed Ministries. And all three of us have our own levels for these character studies. And the parent one has a lot more in it, so I actually like to start doing it by myself before the kids even come downstairs. And I will often do half of it and then go ahead and give them a call and have them come down just so I can kind of get a head start and they aren't waiting around for me. Once I have done about half of it, I call the kids on down and the three of us go ahead and finish our own levels of the character study. And then when we're done, we all three will discuss what we learned. We'll go ahead and reread the key verse because there's always a key verse with each day's lesson. And also, if you're interested in knowing more about these specific character studies, I did do a YouTube video all about it, and they are from Not Consumed Ministries. After that, we go ahead and do a hymn study. It's something we've done in the past, and I wanted to bring it back. I've been trying to use some of my own resources, so I went ahead and picked a hymn from one of the books I already had that kind of first talked about who the author was, what was going on in his life that inspired him to write it, and kind of a history about the specific hymn. We are starting with What a Friend We Have in Jesus. So we'll sing through it a few times. I'll also ask both of the kids to share a line from the song that they find encouraging, and they always tend to pick different ones each time I ask. And so this has been really nice. I really enjoy hymns, and so it was just one of the things that I wanted to bring into our morning time just because it's important to me. So I think that it's been going well. So we should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer.
I was a little off there.
Can we find a friend so faithful who will all our sorrows share? Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Are we weak and heavy laden? Comfort with a load of care. Precious Savior, still our despise forsake thee, take it to the Lord in prayer.
Kitty.
In his arms he'll take and shield thee, thou wilt find a solace there. After we finish the hymn, we go ahead and do a prayer, and then I will do some sort of read aloud. Today's was about church history from a company called Generations. This is a new to me company this year, and as much as I can understand it, it looks like the history curriculum that they offer is all about church history, and each grade has its own book. So I have purchased the first one, and I'm just using it as a read aloud. I do think they also have some sort of either a workbook or a teacher's guide that goes along with it, but I don't have those things. I'm just using it as a read aloud. And they also come in some of the later grades where it's how the church grew in different continents. That's not this one specifically, but that's some of the ones that are coming on later. Since I just bought their first level, the reading level of this one is lower than I think where my kids would be at. Each grade, the reading level grows with it. So for this one, it's really easy to just go ahead and read 2 chapters at a time, and that's what I've been doing. Our family subject today was geography, and we used Knotgrass, our 50 states, and the way that they have it set up is they actually do 2 lessons per state, but I go ahead and do the full state in one sitting, so we're basically doing 2 lessons. They have different workbooks for those lessons, and so we will go ahead and use both of them. When I do the first lesson, I'll go ahead and I'll pull out the lesson review, and we'll go ahead and do that one. I also have all of the answers right there next to me so I can keep track, and it's just a fill-in that they have to listen to. And then I'll go ahead and show them the pictures, obviously, because Knotgrass always has really wonderful photos in their textbooks. And then our cat Fergus fell off the stool because he is super clumsy, so that was kind of funny. Monuments, benches, and other objects.
Its hair's like all up. It's like
He's not very graceful. And then when I start to do the second lesson that I have for the state that we're working on, they go ahead and pull out the books that they call the Atlas workbook, and they will go ahead and work through these ones for the rest of our geography time. After that, my kids went ahead and started their own individual subjects. My 4th grader started with his handwriting for today, and my 6th grader went ahead and started with his language arts. We typically only do 1 core a day, either language arts or math. And for the 6th grade, he has a couple sections where he actually does with me at the beginning. The first one is where I will dictate sentences for him to check on spelling. So I go ahead and read the sentences that they have in the book for that lesson, and he writes them down. And then while I'm grading those, if he gets anything wrong, there's a section in his language arts for spelling words to work on. And while I'm checking to see if he got any of the words wrong, he goes ahead and pulls out the grammar and geography flashcards that come with this grade, and he goes over those, and then I'll go ahead and let him know if he had any spelling words wrong, and then I will quiz him on the grammar and the geography cards. And then the last thing that he does with me is they have him reading definitions out loud to me, and so that is what we go through. And then after that, he likes to go and take all of the rest of his work onto the couch. And so for what he had left for today was fix-it grammar and handwriting. And also all of the individual sections left to do with his language arts for today. At this point, my fourth grader had finished his handwriting, so he had moved on to his fix-it grammar. So I was talking him through some of the steps, checking his work, and then also helping him find some words in the dictionary for that. During the downtime between them needing me and having questions, I use that time to work on grading my sixth graders' work. Currently, I have a paper in my binder per subject, and that's where I'm keeping track of all the grades for now. I have recently gotten some books about grading on thriftbooks.com, and I'm planning on reading those, and I'm sure once I do, I'll be changing my process after I've read them. But for now, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm keeping track. Today, I worked on catching up from yesterday's schoolwork and grading history, Bible, and math that my sixth grader had done the day prior. I don't really know anything yet about these books. I saw them on Amazon and they were all really expensive, but luckily on thriftbooks.com I found them for about $5 a piece. And I am also trying to keep track in my homeschool planner of the subjects that I'm grading as I go along, just so that I don't get too far behind. I also have my own stack of books that I'm trying to work through, so often I can also get some personal reading done while I'm waiting to see if anybody's going to need my help. I'm currently reading Better Together by Pam Barnhill, which is about morning time or morning baskets in your homeschool. Next, my fourth grader had language arts, and it started with us doing the challenging word sentences together. And so we go ahead and we read through these sentences, and if he pronounces all the words correctly, he gets a check mark. And then once that whole sheet is done, he can color the bird on the other page. And then lastly, my fourth grader went ahead and did his language arts lesson. He did ask for my help with his writing workshop, so we worked on some of that together, and then he just ended it with his 20 minutes of personal reading. Alright, so thank you for watching. If you have any questions about anything I talked about today, feel free to ask down below, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, thanks. Bye.